What's up? New angle unlocked. It's AFALOZ on the daily. So I've been thinking about. So I painted yesterday. It was my son's birthday, Oliver, and I painted on one of my abstract pieces, like a picture of him, like a fond memory that I had with him and his stepmom, my wife May, one of our like first memories, and that's what like I chose. And same with like why I painted Lily. And I was trying to think of like that was my reasoning, right? Like that's my reasoning for wanting to do that piece and wanting to add to that piece, because the piece itself it's on my website, AFALOZ, www.afaloz.com. And it's the one called Sweet Tomato. So the piece itself was just really all red to begin with. I drew May on it, and then I like covered it in red because of the unfortunate miscarriage. And then that still like haunts me, it still haunts me to this day. And it's one of those things that like you only really feel the pain, or to me, I'm sure women that have gone through this, men that have gone through this, families have gone through this, they feel their own pain in different ways. But I really only felt the pain once I started, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I feel like I didn't really get to be a father until Amaya was born. And I like, even then, I was still learning. I was still really stuck in my old ways, and I was still becoming a father. So it really didn't, to me at least, be the father that I want to be until like Zoxis, which is child number 4. It's awful, right? Not saying like I'm a great father. I'm saying that it took a really long time for me to learn how to be a father. And now I'm making it up to my children, as they're already old, of kind of what they missed out on, and just trying to be a better person than I was yesterday and the day before and the day before that. I'm really just trying to learn. But to say all that, I didn't really know what it meant to lose. Like, clearly when I was making that first large canvas, and I drew May, and I drew like all the red on the surface level, like blood, all that pain, I didn't really know why I was painting it. I was kind of just like doing it, and it was kind of like my way to process that pain. But now that I feel like I know what it means to be a father, and I know what it means to have children, and I know what it means to lose a child, now I can better understand the loss of that unborn child, and kind of what it entails. And it's hard, because you have to learn so much stuff. You have to go through so much things to even like appreciate that loss, to even begin to like understand it. And it's not that most people aren't going to be able to go through what I went through and really process that loss in the right way. I'm not saying like you have to be sad, but or you have to, or whatever the emotion you feel, anger. To me, it's like understanding the weight of that loss, and understanding like what it means to have that loss, that potential, that eventual person that it was going to culminate. Like it's very hard to understand that, and you can really only understand and appreciate that when you have figured out what it means to be a parent, figure out what it means to be that individual that is watching these things grow and become, and fulfill their humanity. Like they're slowly stepping into their own person, gaining conscioushood. And it's astounding to see that. And it's like remembering your childhood, remembering your past. And it's like a selfish reason. Parenthood is definitely 100% like a selfish thing, because you're not in this age of like consent, in this age of like understanding, parenthood is one of the most selfish things you can do, because you can't ask that child that you're, borning into this world, that they want to come here. And that would be amazing if we could, but we can't. At least, like, not right now, right? We can't do that right now. Maybe in the future we could, but I see parenthood as a way to rewrite your past and rewrite your childhood and daydream, like, this is how I was raised. This is how it was. And some people, they cling to that. They cling to what they know. So the past is solidified, and they can, reproduce what their parents or whatever did to them, whether that's traumatic, whether that's happy, whether that's impactful, whatever the case is, they reproduce it. And there's some people that want to change how they were raised, right? And there's some people who are trying to do one way or the other, but life has other things that they need to see and get shown, and each one is going to be different. But it's like a way for that adult, that person, to try and recreate their past, because it's hard to remember your past. So you kind of see it through your children. And to say all that, and that didn't really have a point besides that, parenthood is selfish, and that I've learned a lot in becoming a parent, and trying to not be as selfish, and trying to understand that these children didn't ask to be here. So it's my job to make their life as good as I can make it, and not really worry about myself, and not worry about the things that I want, and not worry about the things that are nice, for me. Because, like, as an adult, you worry about certain things. You worry about money. You worry about really, I think it's always money. Like, everything is encompassed by money. Whether it's a place you're living, you're eating, the things that you own, the things that you I don't know, just everything. Everything revolves around money, and that's why I'm trying to find ways to find things that don't revolve around money. But anything that you do is going to require your money. Even if you like hiking, you're going to need hiking equipment. And if you like to eat food, you're going to need to buy food. If you like to travel, you need to have money to do that thing. So everything revolves around money. But I'm losing the plot here. That's all to say, while I was making my art for those memories, why did cave people, and why did artists, as time progressed, like, why did they make art? It's fascinating to me. Everyone has, and I know the answer. The answer is, like, it's personal to them, and that's their reason. And I think it's just me being nosy, of, like, wanting to figure out, like, why they make that. But then the individual level of, like, me wanting to know why that other individual made that is, like, sometimes overshadowed by like, the art world itself, and by, like, culture, and by nuanced thinking of, like, how it applies to our existence now. How does a Basquiat applies to the times now? How does a Pollock applies to the times now? How does a Picasso, a Young's, how do their art? I consider Carl Jung an artist, like, how a painter, more than a psychologist and a philosopher, like, how same with Kandinsky, Wassily. I think, they're artists and foremost. More so that, like, if you think that Carl Jung is more of a philosopher rather than an artist, and you think Kandinsky is more of an artist rather than a philosopher, then you are not seeing them for who they are, because they're both one and the same. They just weren't able to fully state what they want to state in the same way in the field that they're known as, because they were trapped in their own box. So the things that Kandinsky was trying to say with his art was taken as an artist in face value rather than a philosopher, and the things that Carl Jung was saying was taken as a psychologist and a philosopher rather than as an artist, because you don't see his art as an artist. You see his art as that as a psychologist who does art rather than as an artist, true in itself. But anyway, I often try to think of like, why did they create these art? Like, when I first started this, because I was learning a lot about the history of art, and my leg's getting tired. This angle is rough, dude. The history of art, and really where it started with cave paintings and etchings in South Africa, or heart of Africa, like things of that nature. And like the expression of like, why did they want to express themselves in this manner, and why was this chosen? Like, what did it alleviate for them? If my art alleviated and helped me understand the loss of my like unborn child, what did these other artists, like, what were they going through? There's so many people, like, that's why I hate art now. Like, I'm such a hater. I hate the commercialization of art. I hate that art is something that you sell and something that people want to buy, because there are so many people out there who are making art just to make art, but then in between all those things that they make, sometimes their emotion pulls through, and it's like what they're trying to let go of or what they're trying to see. It's one of those things, right? It's either like they're trying to let go of it, or they're trying to like put more eyes on it so they can understand what they're going through. And it gets lost. It gets lost in the shuffle, which sucks. It truly sucks. Like, imagine a world where everyone was able to just do something, create something. Like, I, of course, state a lot because I paint, right? But it doesn't have to just be painting. It could be sculpting. It could be it could be Lego blocks. It could be putting sticks together. It could be knitting. It could be pottery. It could be literally anything. And sometimes I get lost in the shuffle of trying to sell. But imagine if everyone was just taken care of and had the money, and they were able to show, or they were able just to do things and make things that they want to, like people's video games, or movies, and you really are able to see like, what was this person really trying to tell us? And some people are like, well, I don't want to watch a bunch of shit. Well, sometimes that shit means a lot to that person, and shit helps trees grow. And maybe you need that shit to understand what you're trying to grow yourself. And it sucks. It just sucks that it gets lost. And I don't know. I think that's all I wanted to say. That I want to like deeply understand why certain things are made, and why certain people why they create certain things. And it sucks that I have to go through the motion of like, was this for what you really wanted to make, or was this something that you were trying to sell? And sometimes I can't tell. Like, I cannot tell whether something is for consumerism and something is for personal. And I wish I could, because it's a great look into the human insights, into the human condition, to human consciousness. It allows us to really see each person as they are and as they want to be. Zaki's here. Time for the video to conclude. What's up, buddy? What do you want to say?
I want to say pesos and strawberries.
That's what I'm saying. Strawberries and what?
Bananas.
Yeah, strawberry banana. What did you eat for breakfast today, buddy?
I climbed tree.
What? You gonna climb the tree for breakfast? Oh, okay. What are you gonna say? Yes. Don't eat it, bro. No, don't pull. I'm turning it off.